This episode includes a guided meditation. If you are driving, please be mindful and do not listen to this meditation while you are doing so. Always make sure to listen when you are in a safe environment where you can be relaxed and comfortable. Thank you. Welcome to Ask, Learn, Heal, a podcast to support wellness through energy healing, crystal healing, self-care, and guided meditations. I'm your host, Mary Jo Feely. Welcome to Ask, Learn, Heal. I'm Mary Jo Feely. In this episode, I want to spend a little bit of time talking with you about the inevitable experience that we all have when we deal with the unpleasant and messy parts of our life. Now, these are the parts of our life that we typically don't share a lot about. They are the hard parts. They are the parts that sometimes we don't know if we have the skills and the abilities to be able to navigate through them. So sometimes we're reaching out to others. And my sense is that as we recognize these tough parts, that we're able to actually move through the uncertainty that they bring up and the challenges that they present to us with more grace, and allow that experience, these mucky, messy life experiences, to heal, to help us grow, and to help us transform. Now, a lot of this was coming to my mind recently when I was completing my least favorite yet most rewarding task of the year, and that was cleaning the koi pond. So if you have a koi pond, I suspect you know what I'm talking about. Koi ponds are beautiful. Beautiful in the spring and summer. They're kind of put to bed in the fall and the winter. And in the spring, with all of the transformation that takes place throughout the seasons, these ponds benefit from being cleaned out, drained out, and it's only then that we start getting down into the muck of things, and it can be a bit nasty. And yet, one of the things that actually never ceases to amaze me is that the abundant life that does exist within that kind of murky part of the pond. And it really got me thinking that it also is an opportunity for us to recognize the hidden gems of healing that are embedded within our tough times in life. When we think about a koi pond, we might think of a water lily, we might think of the fish, we might think of this beautiful ecosystem that balances itself out. And that's my sense of what happens when we really do embrace the easy and the not so easy parts of our lives, the tough and the more comfortable experiences that are part of our life, and to bring them all together. So when I'm thinking about healing, I'm thinking about integrating, of course, our body, mind, and spirit. I'm also, in this sense, thinking about integrating those mucky experiences with those that have much more freshness and more clarity. When we think of a lotus, for example, beautiful blooming lotus that stands above the water, it actually is nourished most effectively by having its roots deeply anchored in that muck. So when we're clearing out, and when I think about this particularly with healing, we're not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. We are recognizing that everything held within our experience is a teacher. Everything within our experience is an invitation to take a look at it, to polish it up, to determine at what point is it time to let that experience go? At what time, perhaps, is it meant for us to recognize, heal, and then hold on to part of that for some further healing down the road? When I'm working with clients and those who study with me within the context of my healing and my teaching practice, I find that the most rewarding thing for me is to watch them recognize that the hard parts of their life are actually essential for them to be able to move through the healing process. My hope is that you've noticed that as well. And since you're tuned in to this podcast, I also sense that you are taking your self-care seriously. You're taking your personal healing and transformation seriously. And so when we move into this truly mucky time, it is an opportunity to decide what is helpful. And additionally, what is not so helpful any longer. So there's discernment that comes in to this process of healing. This discernment of this is a piece of my life that I am going to choose to take a look at, and I'm really going to sit with it with grace, with gentleness, and bringing compassion into that experience, bringing wisdom into that experience, and allowing that time that it takes to be able to determine whether or not you're ready to release an experience, whether there's still some work that you're doing around that experience, and again, being very gentle as we do this. One of the things that comes to my mind is if we have a glass that's got some mud in it, that's nice and settled, it looks very clear. Yet if we shake up that glass or stir up that glass, all of that kind of muck literally is unsettled again. So sitting quietly, allowing some clarity to enter into our awareness is really instrumental and essential for us to do this kind of work, especially around deep, unpleasant situations and experiences. And my sense is that as we settle into a time of quiet, we actually do get greater clarity as to what parts of our lived experience are ready to be celebrated, released, and create space then for new opportunities. So as I am working in the koi pond, I have learned over the years that there are some things that are definitely ready to be cleared, and there are some things that while they could be cleared, perhaps it's better to just leave them as is for now. And so for me, that annual process of cleaning the koi pond and going through the 1 to 2 day process, which is actually quite physically difficult as well as requires a lot of focus, that it actually can be quite helpful in my ability to also then translate that experience into my own spiritual practice. So in just a minute, I'm going to guide you through a guided meditation that I would like to offer for you to begin to help you settle into what might this look like if you were to allow what's down in that mucky part of your life to begin to inform you in a way that it hasn't to this point. We are not digging up all of the sludge of life. There's lots that we can allow just to sit. But there are times, I believe, that there is something just ready to kind of percolate up into our consciousness so that we can then become aware of it and nurture it and allow it to help us to identify what our next steps will be. So as you sit with this muck, as you sit with this uncertainty and some of these harder times in life, I'm going to ask you, as we move into this guided meditation, to be very gentle with yourself. It does not need to be a very deep-seated process. This is just simply touching into what's it like to find some of those little hidden jewels and to identify them and to be able to welcome them into our life. So as we move into this guided meditation, I would ask you to find a place that's quite comfortable for you to be in. You can be seated, you can be laying down. Of course, if you're driving, you're going to want to pause this recording at this time and pick it up when you are able to participate and enjoy and appreciate the meditation more safely and effectively. So as you settle into a comfortable position, bring your awareness to your breath and simply notice the inflow and the outflow of the breath that moves through you. Nothing more and nothing less. Simply following your breath. In and out. And gently bringing your awareness into your mind and simply allowing your concentration to shift into a place of focus and of gentleness. And bring to your awareness a sense of wonder within your being. Bring to your awareness a sense of hope and possibility. And begin to bring your awareness to a place within you that holds past experiences, and simply be in this space where all of those experiences are held very tenderly. And imagine that within this space, one experience, one memory, one situation gently begins to arise so that you become consciously aware of it. This is an experience that is inviting you to notice it so that you may heal it very, very gently from a place filled with grace. And gently allow this opportunity for healing that is presenting itself. Allow it to become more clear to you. And notice it almost as if you are an unattached observer, gently noticing from a neutral point, from a point of clarity. And imagine that this situation or memory or experience is beginning to emerge as a beautiful flower. And notice how this experience, how this situation, how this memory presents itself. Notice the details of the flower. Notice each of its petals. Notice its stem, its stalk. And notice its beauty. And follow that stem or that stalk down into the deeper parts where its roots are attached. And simply notice that this opportunity that is presenting itself for you for healing has established roots that support it and nurture it, and have done so up to this point, so that you may be able to draw upon it and gain insight and wisdom and healing. And now gazing at this flower again, this flower that represents some of that more difficult experience. It represents some of the harder times, a situation, perhaps a relationship. Just notice this flower. And as you gaze upon this flower, bring your awareness to your heart, this beautiful center of kindness and of peace, of forgiveness, of mercy, of hope, of joy. And send those gifts that you hold within your heart to this flower, and allow it to bask in those gifts, as if a light is shining and beaming forth from your heart. To allow this beautiful flower to begin to change and shift. This flower that represents difficulty and challenge and uncertainty. And as you share your gifts with this newly emerged pattern that you are healing, this newly emerged experience that you are remembering, allow the gifts from your heart to heal it. And then notice what happens. It may be that flower that represents a much needed experience of healing dissolves. It disappears. Perhaps it transforms into something yet more beautiful. Perhaps it slowly shifts back down, reconnecting once again with its rootedness. Allow whatever happens to happen. knowing that some healing experiences shift and transform, and some heal layer upon layer. And be gentle and kind with yourself and what has emerged today for you to notice, to embrace, and to love. And now gently allow insight and clarity to move into your mind space and into your heart space. As the flower dissolves, returns back to its roots, or transforms. Allow yourself to draw in the insight consciously, to welcome new teachings and new learnings and new healings into your life. And bringing your awareness back to your heart space, offer deep gratitude. Deep gratitude for this process, for the way that you are inviting and opening and creating a space for difficult experiences, unpleasant parts of your life to be received with grace and with peace and with love. And now slowly begin to bring your awareness back to your breath. As your spirit reconnects with your conscious awareness, wiggling your fingers a bit, wiggling your toes a bit, feeling the heaviness of your body a bit more clearly as you shift back from this meditation. This opportunity to gently bring healing into your life, one experience at a time. And take a couple final breaths as you shift back fully into present moment awareness. So that experience, that meditation, is intended to support you and show you a simple process, a simple way that you can touch down into life's muck. You can touch into and call forth an experience, a situation. It could be a relationship. It could be a way, perhaps a pattern or a way of putting yourself down, or a time of not perhaps being able to be open-hearted and grateful. All of those are the tough times of our lives, those unpleasant parts of our life that are really difficult sometimes to touch into. And so this meditation simply offers you a vehicle, a manner in which you can do so. Always knowing that grace and gentleness and love and peace totally are embedded within this process. And certainly you can revisit this meditation over and over and over again as you notice what it is that is arising for healing. And during the meditation, you'll notice that perhaps what arose transformed. Perhaps what arose disappeared, and perhaps that which came to your awareness has settled back down again for further work at another time. Healing is cyclical. It is like a spiral. It's not a one and done. It is over and over and over, revisiting some of those harder, more difficult parts of life, and very gently, time and time again, we remove just one more very subtle layer of it so that we may heal. So as you sit with this meditation, and as you sit with the mucky part of your life, know that that's important work, and that you're doing the important work so that you can heal. You may find that as you're doing this work that there are some things that are coming up that you'd like some more support around, and you can certainly reach out to me through my healing practice. I offer energy and crystal healing sessions. I offer mentoring sessions. So there are ways that sometimes it could be that you are looking for some additional support to help you navigate some of those more bumpy times of life. There are going to be times when our life gets a bit dysregulated and it's hard for us to recorrect course, so to speak, and re-regulate ourselves on our own. So feel free to reach out to me if you are looking for some additional guidance. And before I totally wrap up this session, I do want to let you know, of course, that you can reach out to me by email. You can chat through my website. The links are below this podcast episode. Also, if you're interested in exploring self-healing, self-care, perhaps energy or crystal healing more intently, you can take a look at my online school, the Center for Crystal and Healing Studies, which is where I offer both free mini courses as well as fee-based courses that support healing, whether it is energy and Reiki healing or whether it is crystal healing. And my courses are self-paced. They're also blended, which means that there's going to be times when you and I are connecting together for mentoring and individual guidance, as well as the self-paced work that you do at your own schedule. So take a look at the links below. Reach out if you have questions. For now, I am so grateful that you are willing and able and ready to step into the muck of life. Reach out as you need to. For now, I simply wish you many blessings. Be well.